Good morning. Welcome to a special current affairs program on your darling station, Nigeria Decides. Don't forget the 2023 election. 10 days from now, Nigerians all over the country will cast their votes for their preferred candidates, because at the end of the conduct of the general election on the 25th of this month, Nigeria will have a president-elect, and of course, National Assembly members, senators will also be elected. My name is Egosa Agbonlao. It's always a delight to have you. I have with me my colleague who is ready to also join to anchor this program. Yes, praise.
Good morning, Egosa.
Yes.
And of course, Nigerians are happy Val in arrears. Despite the mood yesterday, it seems there's a paradigm shift from the celebration. From my observation anyway, it looks like Nigerians are ready for the 2023 elections, and I'm very, very, very sure your PVC is in your hands.
Okay, no, that was what Praise has just said, is that the Valentine celebration was blighted by expectation for the 2023 general election. We have in the studio former commissioner for arts in Edo State, and of course a very seasoned politician, Osewege Ero. Nice to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, and good morning, viewers.
Okay.
Glad to be here today.
We also have with us a former two-time governorship aspirant, and of course the chairman, Zenith Labour Party, Edo State, Bishop Akalame. Nice to have you with us today.
International, good morning, viewers.
Good morning. So, Nigeria Decides. Are you ready to be part of the Nigerians that will make the decision with their PVCs? Your PVC is powerful. Your PVC counts. Your PVC will elect a new president. Your PVC will elect new senators, National Assembly members in general. So, it is an all-important exercise, and you must be part. So we are looking at the challenges and the prospects of the 2023 general election, and of course, you'll agree with me that my guests are ready. Well, Praise,
Yeah.
are you ready for this all-important exercise?
Of course, I am definitely ready. Every right-thinking Nigerian should see this forthcoming election as an opportunity to change the face of our nation. Every Nigerian, I mean every one of us, should see this election as the only bailout to have a Nigeria of our dream. And I'm very sure our analysts, they are quite ready to do justice to the talking points. Egosa.
Praise, you just mentioned a term that seemed to trigger a lot of thoughts. And you said bailout. Bailout from what? Challenges, a lot of challenges. Nigeria is bedeviled by myriads of problems, myriads of challenges. Will this affect the conduct of the election? We'll start with Osewege Ero. Looking at the assurances given by the umpire, by INEC, do you think that this 2023 general election will be smooth, free, fair, and credible?
Well, I think INEC have done a lot of job.
Okay.
And from the previous elections, the introduction of beavers, and thinking of all the security apparatus and all and the informations they have given, I think INEC have really tried. So, if the electorate are, able to follow suit, we will have a free and fair election. I must commend them for all the information that they put out there.
Okay.
So it's very commendable.
Okay. Bishop Akalame, you can't do anything without INEC, and INEC has gotten all the opportunities to have enlightened, sensitized Nigerians, and they've assured Nigerians that this election, one, that INEC is not supporting any candidate, not supporting any party. Do you believe them? Then they've also assured that they have put in place modalities to ensure a credible election.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you for the opportunity given to me to canvass my ideas as regards the forthcoming general election. INEC has always posited that they are always ready in any election.
Yes.
as major stakeholders in the state, we have had series of meetings with INEC. Even the last one we had, with them, we equally asked them this question: how ready is the commission? They said they were ready. With recent happenings in the country, we begin to doubt if what they are saying will be put into practice. We cannot take it from the fact that the technology and because of the new electoral act, that the election pretend to be credible. But just look at all the threats, look at all the assessment threats. Many offices belonging to INEC infrastructures and facilities have been brought down, attacked by hoodlums, while PVCs belonging to people have been carted away. When we are talking about credible election, we are not always talking about whether the results are not tampered with or not. We are talking about how effective the people coming to vote, their decision have not been vitiated, their actions in casting their vote to their preference candidate. These are the issues we are looking at. In as far as I'm concerned right now, somebody have gone to INEC to register for their PVCs. Now, you can no longer have it because some persons have come there to attack the facility and take away the PVCs. So what is INEC doing now in regards to the attack we are seeing everywhere on their facility and infrastructures? Very paramount. Because tomorrow, if the computer will be carried away, tomorrow you just after the election before the demo and say, oh, the computer where information we are stored, we are stolen. So we are looking at it, we look at the threat assessment of this election that is coming up. So INEC said they is ready, but we are saying that they should double their effort so that lost confidence should be restored.
Okay. Yeah, to an extent, you said that you trust INEC to an extent. But let me quickly cast your mind back to Osun State election, where the victory of Adeleke now was overturned by the judiciary to an extent. Do you think that Nigerians should still trust the beavers that was introduced?
Well, we don't have any choice now. We're going to use the beavers. It worked in Osun State, like you said. And going to court, tribunals are part of the electoral process in this country. So if you're not satisfied, you take the case to tribunal, they look at it, and I'm sure maybe the case might be overturned at appeal and even the Supreme Court. So until it gets to the final judgment, where the judicial processes are exhausted, you don't really know, say, this is the winner and all that. So those are part of the electoral process.
But in a way, INEC is still saying that what they did in Osun was in place. Exactly. And they are not really backing out from the result, because they allege that what the other party had is an inconclusive material that they took to the court. Yeah. But don't you think to an extent we should have a balanced system where when we have an election result given out, and people should trust it, and it should be verified before announcement? Don't you think so? Of
course I do, but again, if you lose an election, you believe you win, because everybody that's preparing now, no matter how weak or strong they think they are, they think they're going to win. And on that election day, when people now cast their votes, and you're not, the person becomes a loser out, and he will not be satisfied. So the only option he has is to go to court, even though all the indices are there that he lost the election. So he needs to exhaust that judicial process, and that's what they're doing.
So is there a way to just prove a point where there's no point?
No, to some people. They just want to go to court to prove, to feel that they've exhausted all possible means to, for the election.
Absolutely.
So I think we need to be positive as Nigerians. I have that positive attitude, no matter how difficult it is. Election is coming up. The INEC is the umpire that oversees all the election and everything. So we need to believe in them, we need to trust in them, we need to make sure that have that positive mindset that it will work. Of course, there are challenges everywhere. We have challenges, even in the developed countries, they have their challenges. So we're not going to fool around and just sit down and say, oh, INEC, because INEC, they failed in the past, all the effort that they've put in now to make things work, we're expecting a different result. Okay,
to an extent, I'm going to pause you now. Bishop Bakaleme, in your submission, it's like you're not in terms with what he actually said in his opening. Do you think the beavers doesn't operate itself? We need humans to operate it. And to an extent, humans are not 100% perfect. Are you saying we should have a little fault from there?
My brother, we need to look at the antecedents of the commission, how far the commission has performed. Okay? You have watched closely. We have seen what is happening in the country, even in the state here, even with our previous former governorship elections, where INEC have been dragged alongside with political parties that carried it to court. Why? They have been indicted. You know, maybe their staff being part of the fraud, the electoral fraud. So that's why we are not in doubt that even when the public are now saying that INEC cannot be trusted 100%, we cannot 100% stand with INEC, because what has happened in the past has proven to us that INEC has not been independent, ab initio. So we are not saying, because of what they are doing right now in the introduction of BVAN and technology and under the new electoral act, we're not saying, oh, we assume that INEC will be an unbiased umpire. Look at what happened in Osun State. Even when they went to court and said Adeleke was no longer the winner of that election, this is what happened, that in the BVAN, that there was overvoting, and it was something that it was the outgoing governor that had the highest vote. I begin to imagine, so what is now the difference between the BVANs and the manual voting we used to have? So the BVAN begin to give me some concerns. So that's to tell you that fraud are everywhere. Now, brother, don't forget, if young men can sit in the comfort of their homes and hack into your account and take some money from there, you go to the bank and say they don't know anything about it. So we cannot be 100% be sure of the BVAS at this point in time. But the only strong message we have to set to the commission is that Nigeria belongs to all of us. It is a project. You cannot say because a city government is paying your salary, then you have to do their biddings. If you must be a patriotic Nigeria, even as the INEC chairman, we have always said to it that if you must be a patriotic Nigeria, you must make sure you do the right thing, so that posterity will judge you very well, judge you rightly. So that we can, good leaders can begin to invest, so that will help us to fix Nigeria. Because where we are right now, nothing is working.
Okay, Bishop Akalame, I will not just allow you go that way. I like what Samige Ero said. Yes, there are challenges, because a lot of challenges. Nigeria, like we said, you look at insecurity. That was what Bishop Akalame said in his opening remarks. INEC facilities attacked in certain states, and INEC has come out to say, well, despite the attack on its facilities, the commission is ready to conduct a credible election. But my guest has queried that. Now, insecurity is a challenge. We've seen that Nigeria's borders are porous, and security agencies seem to be finding it difficult to man up the borders and to curtail the influx of non-Nigerians. We've seen immigration officers effect arrest of non-Nigerians. These are some of the challenges. But Osamide Ero has said, yes, even in developed countries there are challenges. And Nigeria must surmount these challenges, because the general election is greater than the challenges. An election where Mr. President has asserted by body language, by public comments, that he is ready to vacate Aso Rock at the expiration of his tenure. In other words, this election will produce a president-elect. So I'll come back to Bishop Akalame now, because he's very pessimistic about the scenario, about the challenges. But that's why we're here. We'll look at these challenges. We're also going to look at how to overcome these challenges. 10 days to the conduct of the 2023 general election. We need to be ready. Yes, Bishop Akalame, the BVAS agreed it's an electronic device. But one of the greatest functions of the BVAS is to authenticate the voter. Don't you think the BVAS will do that?
Nobody. I'm not saying the BVAS will not do that. Why we are saying this is to ensure that it's for us to anticipate what is called crisis, to practice what is called crisis anticipation.
Okay.
So that we will do that, we can always make provision. So as we are saying this, the commission will be listening. When they listen, they will know how to make provision for exigency, things that we call for protest, worries that will make people to go to court. So that is where this is the purpose for such a program. So we cannot say because Nigeria, or there are challenges even in the Western world, that we should not address the issues affecting us here. We don't know that there are challenges everywhere, but that of Nigeria is oversized. So it's as if it's as if there's no solution. Our problem has just too many. They are multifaceted. In the sense that if you are leaving one, if you are coming out from another one, you are entering another one. So that is why the majority of us are worried. You get right now?
Yes.
Now, if you look at all the threats, the problems, the challenges that we have now, in as far as this election is concerned, you will say you would agree with me that we are not ready 100%. My brother, listen very well. 2019, if the economy was better than this, 34.75% of eligible voters in Nigeria went to the field to vote. That was very poor. It's not even a pass mark, even D. 34.75%. Now, the corruption then was not as massive the way it is now. The poverty there was not as worse. Do you know that according to the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, today about 133 Nigerians are dimensionally poor. Are dimensionally poor.
The poverty index, you mean?
I tell you. Now, look at it very well now. You can't even get fear, you can't even access fear because the government has refused to invest in the industrial sector. And Nigeria is one of the most, how will I put it now? It's the giant of Africa. If you look at all the country producing oil in Africa, Nigeria is supposed to be number one, but Angola has taken the first position because we're not ready as a nation. No refinery is working. The people are suffering. How about you buy fuel? If you go to fleet station, you buy 350, 320, just respectively. Price discrimination. Now tell me, you want to perform your civic responsibility. I'm trying to tell you what will impede the credibility of this election.
Yes.
You want to cast your vote, you want to perform your civil responsibility as a patriotic Nigerian. You want to go to your village. Because many people have transferred their voter PVC to the village. Now you want to go home. You have to calculate the cost of transportation. You keep that one aside. You're going to take care of people that will come around you. You now look at the money you will now go home with to just perform your civil responsibility. The money is not there. So that will tell you that many people, the voter turnout for this election will be very low, even compared to the lowest that happened in 2019. People will not go. And some politicians will take advantage of that to mobilize voters, pay for their transportation, give them vehicle, so that when they go to the village, they vote in their...
Bishop Akalame, I will come back to you, but let's get the comments of Osemigero. Yes, I just itemize some of the challenges. Now, insecurity is a major challenge. Do you have confidence in the security agencies in the country to actually ensure that we have a credible election, a free and fair election, without interference or without maybe criminals or hoodlums, disrupting elections in polling units in some states, in some areas?
Thank you very much. When I keep talking like this, it looks as if I'm defending the...
No, you are very free to make your comments because...
It looks as if I came here to defend INEC. And I think it would be better if they were here to defend...
No, we've had INEC resident electoral commissioner on this program, and he gave us the assurance, he assured Nigerians that the beavers is ready, that the modalities have been put in place. We will task him on the issue of petrol scarcity, and he said there's an arrangement between the NNPC and INEC to ensure logistical arrangement for the election in terms of movement of materials and sensitive materials. So he's been here and he's giving us the side of INEC.
Okay, that's good. Like I said, we need to have a positive mind. We come, 10 days time, we'll all go to our different polling units and cast our votes. We want change. It's very unfortunate that this present government has failed us woefully in terms of security and other challenges that the country is bedeviled with. But, they've put out their modalities in place to say, okay, they are using beavers compared to what we have before. And any polling unit that you cast over where the number of accredited voters is more than, where the number of voters is more than the number of accredited voters, that unit is cancelled. So like before that, you just go carry ballot boxes, stuff it somewhere, and send the result.
That will not work this time.
Exactly, it's not going to work. If you do that, where the number of voters is more than the accredited voters, that unit is cancelled automatically. So you don't need to fight, you don't need to struggle, you don't need to steal ballot boxes anymore. And with beavers, once you've cast your vote, before you leave your unit, the result is already transmitted to the central unit where the whole world, everybody sees it. You know, we have control rooms in Benin or wherever the control rooms are. Immediately the vote is casted on that unit, the result is, out, they receive it. So it's going to be difficult for you to, change those results. Unlike before, from unit to World Collation Center, from World Collation Center to the local government, from local government to state. A lot of things happen between that time. But it's different now. So that's why we must commend them. Life is full of challenges. Once you deal with one, another one comes up. Like I keep saying, the developed world, America, UK, and all that, as developed as they are, they passed through all these things that we're passing through in the years, many years ago. But they still have their challenges. So as long as you are living, challenges are part of life.
Okay.
But it's very bad that we're the situation at which this present government has put us in. And that's why we're clamoring for change. Again, 2015, we're saying change. We needed change, we must change the government and all that. We brought in this one who has failed us woefully. And again, as human beings, we're waiting for change again, looking for new government. And that is why we must vote credible people. We must vote in people that have capacity. We must vote in people that we know, with antecedent, that can move, change things for us. It's not going to be magic. Whoever comes in, vote this year, 2023, we have a lot of huge challenges. Whereby the country's debt is running to over 60 trillion naira, and all that. This insecurity challenges is there. A lot of our brain drain, people have moved out of the country. Whoever is coming, the government, whoever is coming in 2023, have a lot of challenges. And even for 8 years, will not even be enough for them to change things. But we need to move on as human beings. Challenges and change is part of life.
Before I allow Prince to ask the next question, Semigero, you just mentioned something that I think you need to comment on more.
Yeah.
Looking at, we have 18 political parties that will be contesting the general elections. And from what we've seen, the participation is higher compared to where we had so many political parties and some parties were not effective. This time around, we've seen that it's not just about APC or PDP. We've seen other parties actually making input, creating some kind of politicking that is worth looking at. So now, don't you think that the participation, the voter apathy that we used to experience, because Akalame mentioned that, don't you think with the way politicking is now, we might have massive participation because people are yearning for change?
Yeah, thank you very much. I totally agree with you. If you look at the number of youth participation, for example, this time around, is higher. Unlike before, most of those youth are not interested. When election is going on, they are playing football on the streets and all that, and doing other things. But you can see the involvement now because of change. What leads to this? Because of the failed government, the insecurity, the hunger, the national division. There's lack of unity among us. You suspect each other. There's detribalized. The country has been so detribalized because of the way the government have run. The government of the day have run the governance. So I'm glad, I'm happy that everybody is involved. And that is where capacity comes in. That's where you're going to look at, the individuals, not just party. Look at the capacity, look at the antecedents of whoever is the candidates for various parties are. So it's not about APC or PDP or NPP or wherever anymore. We're looking at the individual. What is the antecedents of this person when he has opportunity to serve in various capacities he has served? So he or she served. So those are things that we're looking at. The youths have come out now, hungry, to say they want to vote, they need a change. Why are they coming out? Because of the suffering of the Nigerians and how the government of today has failed us. So we need change. And that is a way of talking about the challenges, and the change is what motivating people to come out and vote. So no matter what, I'm very sure that a lot of people, no matter the stress without fuel or no fuel, people are going to come out to go and cast their vote because they now believe that vote PVC and their voting will make a lot of change for us.
Bishop Akaleme, you actually gave a kind of breakdown on why the election may not hold. In your opinion, do you think we should have a change of dates?
Well, before Bishop Akaleme will answer Dale Praise, you are aware that the election man has assured Nigerians that the date of this election will not be changed.
It's critical.
Yeah, so insinuations in some quarters that INEC might change might postpone the election. INEC chairman has said no, emphatic no to that. but you can answer his question.
Of course, I would like him to react to that because from his
yeah, we
solution,
need to at least clear the air on that.
Absolutely.
So that the viewer can understand. You know.
Yes. Even yesterday, when I was discussing with some of my party members, I said, the way things are going right now, I doubt if they may not postpone the election. Well, there's no even money in circulation. There's no money in circulation. It was not yesterday I saw on paper that the CBN said the old currency ceased to be legal tenders from 10th of this month.
and there's no going back.
And there's no going back on it. He said he has released the new Naira note. We have seen, we have checked. Nobody's, I don't know if you have the new Naira note.
I should be asking you, probably you came with some.
I believe that the new Naira note are now in the hands of few personalities, few persons. We don't even see the money. So people cannot even function. People cannot function. So how will people not travel to their various villages to cast their vote? It is clear that people, the enthusiasm is high. People want to vote. People want to participate in the election. But don't forget that those who feel that they will lose the election, they are also masters of the game. What they are doing is that they are bringing so many strategies to frustrate the people's effort so that their motivation will dwindle. Now you have your PVC. I will vote them out. Now you don't have money to transport yourself back to the village because there's no. You go to the bank. Yesterday I went to my bank. I went to withdraw. When I drove to the gate, I saw people outside. They were not even opening gate for people to drive in. People were outside. I went back. I went to POS. I said, how much? He said 10,000, 2,000. I said, calculate. I withdrew. So tell me, is this somebody that want to withdraw
Up to yesterday
5,000 and want to go back to Auchi? They will say bring 2,000 naira to take 5,000 naira, or bring 1,000 to take 4,000 naira. We look and say, no, let me go back to my house. He has the enthusiasm to vote. These are the things that we affect the election. And second, let me tell you, don't forget, with this they are doing, some persons who have the right mindset that they want to vote for praise, they may end up voting for Agbola. You know why? Those who have spent this money say, come on, I must go to the village. They may even borrow, or maybe go to POS, withdraw the money, pay heavy on it. When you get to the village, he will be looking for somebody that will reverse him back to the position he was before he came to the village. Compensation. Really? Even he may not be. That's why some people will not use their conscience this same election because of the poverty. And let me tell you though, those who still want to go to the village, there are some people who station some vehicles somewhere. Every time you go to your village to do their bid. Okay. That will affect the credibility. So we must say what is happening. He said your INEC said he has spoken to her.
Your INEC.
He has spoken with her.
INEC belongs to the country, belongs to all of us. Yes, it belongs to all of us.
Your INEC.
He has spoken with the NNPC. He said fuel will come. We have 10 days before election. Okay. 10 days. 10 days. Like me, I vote in Agenebo, the EUQUI. So if I'm going home now,
that's your polling unit.
That's my polling unit. If I'm going home now with my SUV, that means I need a minimum 50K to fuel my vehicle. Go and go back.
So must you go with your SUV?
I must go home. I must go home.
And now looking at the scarcity of naira now. Let's start being considerate to ourselves. Or must you go with your SUV?
Why must I not go? I mean, that is the comfort. I'm used to it. Okay. I cannot remember the day I entered public vehicle. So I'm used to it. Okay. So I have to make sure that I do it. The commissioner is here. Can you enter Kabuna? They can't.
I do.
When have I seen you? That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Let me pause you, Bishop. Let me pause you and come to Osarige. To an extent, I just like the line of this conversation, Agbola. They are of different opinion, and I think it's making this conversation to have a kind of balance in a way. So over 240 polling units may not have the opportunity to go cast their vote, according to INEC's submission recently. And looking at the challenges Nigerians are being faced daily with this scarcity of naira, the new naira note that looks like it's not going to end soon. Do you think we are going to have a low turnout in the election?
Well, I think the challenges that we're facing now will definitely affect the outcome of the election. The 240 votes, I'm glad that INEC are aware of that. So they'll definitely discuss the solution on how to amend those lapses on those 240 polling units that people are not going to vote. Then the other challenges, lack of scarcity of funds and all. Well, there's really nothing we can do about that. But again, those are challenges that life, that we are facing right now, and I'm sure we'll overcome it. If they're going to postpone the election, it's up to them. I don't like insinuating things that I'm not in control of, or I don't know anything about. But we already have a date. We're all campaigning. working towards that date, and hopefully we'll get a date and get our election done. If they want to postpone, well, they will give a reason why it's postponed. It has happened before. And if it's urgent enough, we don't have a choice. We only grumble. Some of us will grumble because we spend money and we're anticipating that time, and it happen, and they make a decision. So we just need to be positive. I'm a very positive-minded person. Okay. We have a date. We're doing all we can. We have our candidates that have, we've brought forward. We're campaigning, all the hook and crumbs of the states and local government and wards and units and all that, to make sure our candidate win. We're not sitting down at home and say, oh, yes, well, that day we'll do magic. We're talking to our people from door to house, letting them know the reason why they have to vote for this person. Because again, it's different, unlike before, whereby you just spark people to go and vote. What is going to happen, even if you give somebody money now, he's going to vote his conscience. So you need to be able
because the awareness is very high.
Exactly. So you need to
awareness is high.
You need to convince the person why he needs to vote for your candidate. Like I said, I'm independent. But I've looked at the candidate from top to bottom, or bottom to top, as they say. I look at the capacity of people that would need change. Because, like I told Nigerians, a few months ago, we must make sure that we vote capacity. We must make sure that the people who vote into office are people that will be held responsible, for the offices they are occupying. And that's why we're having all these problems. Because you say this guy is Paddy is my friend, he's not capable, age is not on his side, health is not on his side, you still push him there just because of your own selfish interest. By the time he gets there, 4 years, 8 years, everybody suffers. So you need to look at all those things and say, okay, is this guy capable? What is his antecedents? You understand? From president to my Senate, like Edo State, look at his Senate. From Edo South, for example, look at the people that are contesting for that Senate position. How competent are they? What are their antecedents? What's their relationship with people? Have they been there before? What is the experience in terms of legislation that you're sending to Abuja to go and represent you? Do you understand? So we need to look at all those things very well and say, okay, this guy is the best qualified person to represent us.
So you think from his submission that the masters of the game, they won't hijack the process?
Of course there will be
to leverage on the current situation.
People will try their best to do all things. But again, Beavers, that's why I'm believing that if you misplace your PVC, no, not misplace, if your polling unit on that day that you try to change two things without canvassing or campaigning, you fail. Okay. And if you do overvoting, you lose your units. So you can, as a political...
Because the Beavers will actually account for it.
Exactly. If you have a number of voters more than the accredited voters, it's automatic cancellation. It's happened before in 2019. Where some unit, they came up with a number of registered, accredited, where the number of voters were more than the accredited voters. It was cancelled at the collation center. So it's still going to happen now that you have Beavers. It's automatic. So people will try to do all sort of, even Nigerians, even in America and Canada, it still happens. People will try their best to manipulate their things, but most times, it's going to affect them. So that's why we are canvassing and campaigning for your candidates and telling them the reason why they need to vote for your candidate.
I like the words that Osemege Ero has really used so far, that the political parties and their candidates are actually involved in campaigns because they know that your PVC counts. Unlike before this election, some persons have always had that erroneous concept or thought that, oh, my vote doesn't count. So whether I vote, it doesn't count. But this time around, the politicians are busy because they know that your vote counts. And I'm going to ask Osemege Ero before Bishop Akalame will comment on it. Now, do you actually believe that the issue of third force has reinvigorated the campaigns of all political parties? Nobody is 100% sure now of winning the election. They know that they have to solicit votes.
For me, when you talk about the presidency, I know who's going to be the next president. And I will tell you here, because if you look at the indices, you look at the capacity, you look at the people that are there, I can tell you without mentioning your name. Coming to Edo South, for example, the same thing. I can tell you who's going to be the next house of, who's going to represent Edo South in the Senate. When you look at the people from, top to bottom or bottom to top, as they say, that person that can represent us. And when you look at that, you look at capacity, you look at quality, you look at experience. So I can easily tell, and popularity as well, across, within the state or even the senatorial districts. Going to House of Rep, because politics now is local, is the person that they know. Yes, political parties have to campaign, you have to canvass votes, but I can tell you're seated here who is going to represent us in the House of State.
That's your personal opinion, but the point I'm making is, before now...
You asked me a personal question.
Before now, you just look at PDP,
yes,
APC, and Nigerians will just tell you, it's either PDP or APC. But this time around, we have other political parties. The Labour Party has emerged now, and we also have some other parties, making remarkable impact. So, don't you think this issue of third force has affected campaigns? That's the point I want you to talk on.
It's a good thing, because if you look at what brought up Labour, some people are tired of, like they say, APC, they're tired of PDP, they don't want change. The same change we're talking about, and now they said, okay, let's try someone else. Especially the youths, who they believe that this present-day government has failed woefully. So they now decided to come up and say, okay, let's try somebody else, which is a good thing. Do you understand? So that is the change that we admire, we are all advocating for. But we need to be careful. This change we need to be careful who we bring in. Because again, in 2015, we're all clamoring for change. And we brought in this same government. Have we really gotten results? No. So the change that we're clamoring for is good. It's going to affect a lot of results in some areas. Don't get me wrong. With the labor, people coming out for labor now, yes, it's going to affect a lot of results in some places. But again, capacity will still come in.
Thank you. Bishop Akalame, same question. The politicking. There seem to be increased campaigns. Candidates no longer sit at home and just believe that, I will win. We've seen a different scenario in this 2023 general election. Do you think it's the third force issue that has affected these campaigns? Do you think that the two dominant parties now know that, they have a fight in their hands?
It's the public awareness and cautiousness emanated from the suffering and pains that Nigeria have gone through over the years. No matter how good you are, I remember 2016 when I contested for the Edo governorship election, with the Briggy PDP governorship candidate with the governor now and the APC for debate when I'm there. Even those who follow them, they give me ovation. But what I saw...
ovation does not count.
That's what I'm saying.
When it comes to casting of votes.
I'm coming now. I'm going somewhere.
Okay.
You see them giving me ovation. You know why?
Yes.
They have seen them all have the idea. But the issue is that those ovations did not translate into votes.
Okay.
Why? Because Nigeria, we are seeing practice what is called plutocracy. Plutocracy says that government by the wealthy people. When you have the money, whether you have the capacity, you have the meta asset to deliver, then people can begin to vote for you as long as there's a change of values. What are the values? The vote and the money. And I've told them that the only way we can progress as a nation is that if you look at it, plutocracy gives birth to what I call kakistocracy. Governed by the weakest and the wicked citizens, the worst citizens. Because by the time somebody give you money who does not have capacity, who does not even have the people in mind, then that government gives birth to what is called the worst citizen, the worst government. The best is the bread of aristocracy and democracy, which is governed by the people and for the people and the people. So, the way it is right now in Nigeria, if somebody gives you money to vote, because of the suffer people have got to, they will tell you, I will collect the money. But I told them, I said, come, it will not be as easy as that. The only way to be easy, because I know how they need to do it in the village those days. As early as 4 a.m., they will come to your house, they will knock your door. Say, please come out, please take this token, vote for my candidate. I say, if it happen that way, because they will not bring the money to the field. If they bring it to the field, they will be arrested. So they will prefer to bring it to the house. They will knock your door, collect the money. The money is our common patrimony. See, my brother, the corruption in this country is what has put the people into poverty today. Somebody will just sit down comfortably and steal 133 billion naira from public fund. See that nothing is happening. The former Secretary General of the Federation, Idris Ahmed, was indicted of 133 billion naira. And the SEC said they have recovered about 30 million. The former minister for Madueke Diziani,
Okay, petroleum.
Petroleum.
about 80 properties were traced to that woman. More than $53 million were traced to her account. There's such money, individual holding those money, and people cannot feed in this country. This money does not belong to them. That's why I said, if you know you are coming to privatize public office, don't come. Government is not a business venture. When you invest, this is what they do now. They go to abroad, they go house. When they come back here, they say, what kind of business can I do now? I say, go and do politics. They bring the money there. They say, just put it there. In 6 months, you'll be able to recoup your investment. It is not investment. Go and do that business. Politics is a call to serve. If you don't have the mental capacity, if you cannot think out of the box, if you cannot see beyond your nose, don't come in there. It's for intellectuals, it's for professionals, great thinkers. That is why today I'll put it to the commissioner that don't ever compare Nigeria to America, to Canada, whatever you are saying. Because those people, they have intelligence, they find solution. They work so hard to find solution to their problems. But here, we don't find solution to our problem, we romance them.
Okay.
You know the worst thing? But the problem come like this. You are looking at how it's going to benefit some persons. So in other words, our leaders cautiously, intentionally create problems so that people can benefit. They will set up a committee. They will pay their salary. This committee will even make the matter worse. That's right. That is the country we are. We don't have self-motivated leaders. People who want to really work and take the people out of poverty. I saw an old man that they came to the bank, wanted to withdraw money. When they said there's no money, he started crying. Old man! The banker was saying, sorry, sir, sorry, sir. How will say sorry, sir? This country is so hard that people are still working very hard to earn a living. Now the money has come. Bank, take this money, keep it for me. I am not here to collect it and go to Angola. They say the money is no longer available. I tell them, I say, come, economically, from now till next 1 year, Nigeria will go into another recession. You know why? The small-scale business owners, operators, they contribute mostly to our GDP, gross domestic product. Yeah. For the past 5 years, they have contributed about 48% to our GDP. These are people who turn their cash over and over. They don't keep their money in the bank. They turn it over. When they sell 10,000, they go and buy, quickly go and buy. Turn it over and over again. These people now spend their time in queues to get money for PVCs. They are not longer doing business. Nobody sees the danger economically because we have people who are occupying offices. They don't find solution to problems facing us as a nation. We have never been divided in this country the way we are just now, along ethnic and religious line.
Bishop, I know your submission is born out of compassion to see a better country. However, a real submission is his personal opinion, and I would like us to respect that. But let me now come to you because you still have the floor. You still have the floor. Now, looking at the tripod shift in this election, like my senior colleague said, we have two major parties, but I want to put it in a tripod form. We have the Labour Party, we have the PDP, and the APC. And to an extent, the vote is tending or moving towards these three parties, to an extent. I saw a recent interview where one of the party governorship candidates is pulling out from the party to go with another party, though they are yet to tell Nigerians who they are voting for. They are not going to vote for their presidential candidate, Sowore now. They are not going with him. I want to come to your party now. You are a chieftain in your party. And to an extent, your party too falls within this third leg on the race. Is there any possibility that your party is going to pitch tent with one of these three major parties?
God forbid.
Why?
Let me tell you something.
Looking at your capacity in the pools over time, over the years.
My brother.
Zenith Labour Party.
Let me tell you something. In 2016, we took third in the state governorship election.
Okay.
In 2020, we came out very well. I'm telling you.
Okay.
So, if you go to the north right now, we have members in the House of Assembly, House of Reps.
Okay.
Our presidential candidate, Barrister Dan Nwayawu, very versatile, intellectual, a mobile library. Somebody who understands the problems of this country. He has not been there before. He's not holding any share in any of.
We don't want you to canvass for any politician.
Okay, sorry, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Daniel Prince just want you to talk generally.
Apologies.
But not campaigning for anybody.
Apologies.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know why we cannot do that?
Okay.
Look at the other party now.
Yes.
The PDP and APC. They have carried it. None of these people are alien to us. That the presidential candidate of the APC was a vice president of the PDP, was a vice president of this country for 8 years. Those ideas he's bringing on board now, I believe will have given to the president the other time to transform and change Nigeria to an Eldorado. Then the presidential candidate of the APC is there. People make reference to what he has done.
Two-time governor of Lagos State.
Like people make reference to what he has done. Let me tell you something. Experience expires. Do you understand? Experience expires. Okay. We are now in 21st century. The solution you have in 11th century ago can no longer solve 21st century problems now. If you bring in here now 11th century approach to solve 21st century problems, you'll be romancing the problem, because if you don't have a solution, it's like you have a problem that is cycle. You are bringing a square to solve it. You'll be dragging. That is exactly what is happening. The man has tried in his time, but now age is no longer on his size. Okay?
Now you are becoming personal, Bishop Akalame. We don't want you to do that here. Now, the APC presidential candidate believes that he can rule, believes that he has something to offer. That's the reason he's contesting. His spokesman is not here to defend whatever you are saying now. So we don't want you to be personal. We want to talk generally so our Nigerians can benefit from our discussion. We need to mold the opinions. We need to direct Nigerians. For instance, so many Nigerians are very, very pessimistic that, oh, there are challenges. Probably these challenges can mar the election. But it's our duty, yes, to highlight the challenges and also look at the ways out of these challenges. Because we have just 10 days to the conduct of the election, we cannot dwell on the problems alone. We need to look at the prospects. We need to look at the other side. So I don't want you to be personal with the individuals.
You are correct. That is why you are here to moderate us. Yes. Because most of the time we are talking like this, we begin to flow, you know. So what we are trying to say in no share is that I am happy now that the people are now aware that talents, people have the capacity to this nation. Yes. Don't only live in PDP and APC. Okay. You can find them in other political
you are correct. You are correct.
And I can tell you that the future is very bright. That even in the next Edo State governorship election, the candidate that the APC and PDP will bring will struggle, because we are going to have people are going to look. They're not going to look. They made their choice with these two political parties, because talent will also come from other political parties. Okay. That's where our problem have been.
Okay, so thank you very much. Let's now come to Ario. To an extent, even in the north, where it seems we used to have a large number of votes in the past. In the past, you just know that in Kano, you just hear we have XYZ number of votes in some part of the north. But just recently, the spokesperson for Ariwa, the Northern Elders Forum, to be precise, was in a program, and he said, and I quote, that they are not even deciding yet on who they are going to pitch tent with. And it seems from your body language, one of the candidates is from that axis. And they are still on the table. They are still negotiating. They are still pitching their tent and crossing the I's and ensuring they are not making the wrong choice, because they felt they gave a wrong person the mandate who actually failed them. Now, do you think we should see a kind of shift in the next election when it comes to vote from the north?
Well, first of all, Nigerian election is still going to be, it's still going to be very, ethnicity is going to play a very major role. Yeah. Okay. Ethnicity is going to play a major role in the Nigerian election as we have today. But again, I still talk about, capacity, talk about experience, talk about, somebody that we believe that can move us forward. The Northerners, they are way, way ahead of us in this game. We saw what happened in 2015. And again, it's still going to repeat itself again. However, the candidate that you talk about is from the north is very competent. He's been there before. You know, Bishop talked about him being the vice president at that time. Why didn't he bring up those ideas? When you're number 2 man, it's different from being number 1 because there are things that still need to pass through and give, pass through number 1. And he did his best, bringing in the intellectuals, bringing people that helped build the economy team at that time as chairman of the economy team. And that's where we have intellectuals that really help Nigeria. You know, you talk about privatization, they privatized a lot of government establishment at that time. Again, because I believe, personally, with my own little experience, governments don't really have business. I mean, don't really have anything, the government shouldn't be involved in business, but they should create the enabling environment for entrepreneurs and business people to strive. And that's what governance is all about. That is exactly what the Edo State government is doing. When the governor, when he tells you about not getting involved in building establishment, building businesses and all that, just like what we used to do in the past. Again, when you talk about the civilized or developed countries, we make example that we compare ourselves to them, because that's why it's repeated, not because, I want to start comparing us with America or London or UK or other developed countries. But those are people that have moved beyond the stage at which we are now, and we look up to them. So they still have their own, teething problems. There are challenges that they are passing through. So the ethnicity is going to play a major role, like I said. Even if you look at the labor, for example, now, most of the people that are clamoring for, their candidate now is, they are mainly from the eastern parts of the country. Then the Yorubas, of course, with the APC candidates and all that, it's still going to play a major role. Don't get us wrong. So, but coming back to this side, we look at capacity, look at somebody that we believe that can move us forward. Money will still play a major role as well, because election is not cheap. You have to campaign to people.
I would like you to break it down now for the sake of our viewers. If you say money will play a major role, does it have anything to do with vote buying?
No, I'm not talking about that.
I think we should get that clear.
Yes, I'm talking about campaigning, canvassing. We'll be doing rallies, we'll be campaigning. It costs money, to put things together, not vote buying. Vote buying is not going to work this time because of the awareness. People, you give them money, they are not convinced. They'll collect your money, the ones that want to make soup or and still vote for whoever they think have canvassed, spoken to them, or whoever they think is capable, have the capacity to, govern them. Okay. So ethnicity is still going to play a major role. That's what I'm going to say. And again, we need to still canvass more as political gladiators. We need to talk to our people, let them know that the reason why they have to vote for whoever they are voting for.
I would love to come to Bishop Akaleme, but I'm very sure my senior colleague has something.
Well, wonderful, I must tell you, wonderful. Our guests have been able to explain some of the nitty-gritty that has to do with the political terrain. Happy the issue of vote buying has cropped up, and we need to address that. Yes, Akaleme said vote buying can be disguised, that in some rural areas, they may not wait till the day of election. They do it before the election.
I just learned that now.
But both of you are politicians.
Those are other strategies.
that want to work.
You are politicians. You know what is happening.
I go to the village.
Probably you're just getting to borrow this from him.
Immediately I leave here and I'm going to my village. Because we need to talk to them.
But we need to get this right. And we need to actually enlighten our viewer. Osewengero, do you think cash inducements will have any significant role in this 2023 general election?
Unfortunately, as it is now, I think it will. Because the hunger is too much. It must be, we must be factual with ourselves. The hunger is too much, the poverty is too much, there's no scarcity of funds now. Anybody who tango 5,000 naira now, cash, he will do anything for it. Talk less of 10,000 or, or 15,000 or 20,000. So, of course, it will play a major role.
Bishop Akaleme.
I concur.
Absolutely, from your facial expression.
Because look at it now, people are suffering.
Yeah.
It's very palpable. This kind of pains and suffering today is very palpable in the voices and the faces of Nigeria in the street, in the offices, even in the markets. So a man that has not been able to access 5,000 for the past 1 month now, Just stretch 3,000 naira. The conscience will not be working anymore. That is where
So it's as bad as that.
That's what they have. That's why. Yes, that's why.
I said it's as bad as
It's
that.
as bad as that. That's why you see our former president,
Olusegun
no,
Obasanjo, Jonathan.
the peace are the
Goodluck.
You know, the guy that used to, the man that used to organize.
Abdulsalami Abubakar.
Abdulsalami Abubakar. He said it to Nigeria. He said, please, he said to Buhari, our president, he said, do something about the hunger, the poverty in this country. Because if poverty and hunger is not taken care of, it will undermine the credibility of the 2023 general election. Why? People will no longer vote for the right candidates. Because credibility of an election give rise to what is called national development. If you don't have the good leaders, which will emanate from the polling units, Nigeria will not grow. And when people have been able to look at all these candidates, maybe through debates and their campaigns, they see their promises, their plans, their policy documents, they have seen all these things, okay, go, this is the candidate to vote for. Now, for them to get to the field because of hunger, their decision will be vitiated by near 5,000 naira. So, we cannot take away vote buying and vote selling in this election because of the poverty in the country.
Okay, Bishop. The intrigues to the poll is getting more intense. As the day goes by, the intrigues to the 2023 election, 10 days away from now, is getting so serious. And interest is increasing on a daily basis. Now, we are still on the scarcity of Naira. The CBN governor has been in several fora to tell Nigerians why the policy has come to stay. And recently he told us that there's no going back. Do you think there's a political undertone to the change of notes, Naira notes?
Thank you very much. I will be quoting them.
Please feel free.
I will be quoting them.
But it has to be. You have to be civil.
I will be quoting them because all their quotation are in the public domain.
Yes.
You have seen Adam Soshomole, the former governor of this state, when he have already indicted the CBN governor, say he misled the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That he did not tell you the truth. That because he lost us in the primary election, that to contest to become president, that he didn't win, and he has a lot of car already purchased his vehicle. He's angry. He's ventilating his anger on Nigerians. You guys understand now that since people did not give me this mandate, people will suffer.
That is an allegation that cannot be substantiated.
I
know. Somebody can make a public comment. It could be calumny.
That is not verified.
It could be calumny.
That's what I'm saying. I'm quoting them. I'm quoting them.
Okay.
The veracity of such quotation is what I'm not sure, but I'm quoting them because in the public domain. Do you know why I'm not too happy?
Okay.
Is that as an economist, I'm an accountant.
Okay.
I'm a professional. It's not just being an accountant. You see, I read a lot. So you should, if they give you responsibility.
That was why I directed this question.
Good. If they give you a responsibility as a CBA governor for that matter, you must have been well read. Understand the dynamics of the Nigerian economy. First of all, let's look at it. Is Nigeria ripe for cashless policies or cashless society? The answer is that it is a good policy.
Thank you.
Because of its convenience and simplicity. But let's look at Nigeria's scenario. We have a problem with communication leaks. We have a problem with digital infrastructures. Those in the village don't even have networks. About 38% of Nigeria only have access to digital facilities. What happened to the more than 60% Nigerians who do not have access to digital facilities? You don't pay attention to those ones. Before you can implement the policies, you must do the needful. You must do the needful. That's why when they say they want to be paid subsidies, why? So people don't know how come about fuel subsidies. The finally refuse to work. The government said they want to repair our refineries. So for the meantime, we'll be refining outside the country. In doing that, the government will bear the body by paying fuel subsidies. Now you want to remove the fuel subsidies. You forgot the promise you made. Now you have not repaired the refineries. You want to withdraw, which was the promise that you get to Nigeria before you start refining what outside. That is the situation we are having today in Nigeria.
Okay, let me come to Ariel now. To an extent, I think I align with your submission. The cashless policy has actually helped me as an individual to control my expenditure. I don't go out with cash anymore. It has helped me to an extent, but do you think the timing is wrong?
Well, there's never a perfect timing for anything because the policy is very good.
Absolutely.
And it has even helped us as politicians now. We've been to several rallies without carrying cash. And people are getting used to it because when they come, they know they will need cash. You only help them, okay, transfer money to your account for your transportation or for light refreshment. That's all. Unlike before, when you come there, they're expecting thousands of naira. Exactly. So it helped. But maybe because of the election, that put more pressure on Nigerians, on people. Election is a few days' time, we don't have money to do things, and you're seeing people complaining, politicians complaining about it. You know, when you're not where decisions are being made, I don't question leadership decisions because they must have looked at a lot of things before they make those decisions.
Parameters.
Exactly. The CBN governor, the president, whoever, the people that are in charge have discussed those things, look at the pros and cons before they decide to do what they need to do. Yes, we are suffering. People are feeling the pains right now.
Everyone
but we will get used to it. You know, like I keep saying, you know, if you have traveled, you know, you cannot withdraw more than 300 pounds in London, for example, a day. If you need more than that, you go to the bank. If you need about 5,000 to 10,000 pounds, you need to apply for it, your own money. And they say, okay, 3 days time you get your money. And that is why the system over there is better than where we are. Where you carry cash, people rob you and all that. Because this will check a lot of things. You see a lot of kidnapping all over because they know they can get cash. But when the kidnappers knows that now, if they are looking for 1 million naira, it will take them 1 month from whoever victim they've kidnapped. They will put a lot of them out of business. And that will help us. Because, yes, the policy, the timing, because of election, the pressure on people and all that, people are complaining, they will get used to it. We will face it out. Let them keep to it. Let them put the money out. Let people be able to access their money. But I think the cashless system is a very good thing that will help Nigerians in the
So
future.
will it
irrespective of the timing.
Yes. Okay, just ask a question.
No, I said the timing. People,
Okay.
because of the election,
Yeah.
the anxiety,
Okay.
that's what's putting more pressure on us.
Okay.
When they start up with the POS, I mean your
Point of
ATM
sales,
card
yeah.
at that time, people complained. I laughed. I said, look, we'll get used to it. And now people, it's convenient for you to have your ATM card.
Yeah.
People have POS. People have their machine everywhere. Even little shops, entrepreneurs, they have it. We'll get used to it. Let's face the challenges and be positive about all
Okay,
this.
so my question in line with that, do you think this naira shortage will curtail cash inducement in the election?
It will help. Because you can't access, if I'm going to my village today now, I don't even have up to 5,000 naira with me. And the villagers know that I don't have that cash, I can't give them that cash. So the pressure on me, they'll say, oh, I need money will reduce. So the election is next week time because I've been going to the village, conversing, doing a lot of things there. So they're not going to be expecting me to give them money as it used to be or pay for things that, that we need to do. I'll go and bring your POS. How many people are here will have drinks? I'll pay for the drink with my POS. I'll transfer money to them. That will reduce a lot of things. On election day, you're not going to expect me to give you 5,000 or 10,000 or before you come out and vote. We don't even do that anymore. Anyway, because in my polling unit, I'm very popular. The people around, they like me because I don't wait for election before I go home. I don't wait for election before I do things for them. When I was commissioner, the few years I spent as commissioner for arts and culture, I attracted a lot of development to that community. My relationship with the governor, the schools were developed, the fenced, there was secure borehole, the roads are, as I speak to you now, the road is being graded because of my closeness to the liaison officer, Newman Ogiab, who's doing a lot of work in the local government. So those are those are the benefits when you are close to government. You go there, you're able to influence development to your community. And that's the essence of you being in government, not just for my pocket. If it's about me, I won't be in politics. But I've seen what I've seen, I've seen what the development I can attract to my people, which we've done and will continue to do. And that is why you're being there.
Okay.
Darling Praise, just a minute.
Okay.
Now, do you subscribe to the position or or the allegation rather, that some politicians actually stockpile money and this new CBN policy will affect them?
Of course, because there was no money in circulation before they made this policy. At that time, when you go to the bank, they tell you can't withdraw 100,000, 200,000, and all that. And meanwhile, the CBN with their record, they know there's a lot of money out there. And you can see within 1 week, when they brought out that policy, over 1 trillion naira was brought to the bank. And people that buried money in their houses, there was 200 naira note that was printed over 20 years ago, 2003, brought to the bank. Those were money that was supposed, because money is meant for circulation, not to be tied down in your house or keep down in your, box and all that. But I think it has helped. So maybe by the time we fade this thing out, there will be more money in circulation. People can access their fund to do what they need to do. But the cashless society, the policy will still help you, because you cannot withdraw more than 20,000 naira a day. That will help. Unlike before that, we still carry a bundle of naira. People rob you and a lot of things happen. Like I said, especially security. I'm very concerned about that because when the kidnappers know that they cannot get 10 million naira in a month, there's no point in them keeping whoever they kidnapped in their house, and that will put a lot of them out of business. So it's a very good thing. Like I said, the timing might be wrong because of the election, because of the anxiety, anticipation, and all that. That is why it's putting more pressure on us.
Okay, I have two questions, and they are different. One is going to Bishop, and the other one is coming to you. Bishop, I would like you to hold this question on one hand, so I won't lose what I want to ask our former commissioner. Looking at what happened yesterday, a major network provider shut down for a while, and it affected so many persons. So many people were stuck due to that outage in their service supply. Don't you think we should start looking towards the beavers? Because it's an electronic machine that needs to work with a server connected to it.
No.
Okay.
The INEC chairman, the INEC resident electoral commissioner, cleared the air on that. That the beaver does not need network.
It doesn't need network.
It doesn't work with network.
It's an electronic device.
Yeah, but does it work with network?
Okay, if it doesn't work with network, are we sure it uses battery? It may have been charged before they will bring it to the polling unit. Will it fail? There are times you just charge your phone and power it. Something will just go off. You just see it drain like that. It happens. So, Bishop, you hold that on one hand. Then let me come to you, Ariel. You're You're one-time commissioner for Edo State.
Yes.
And in your submission, you said, and I quote, that you attracted a lot of development and projects to your constituency. What happened to other places under your direct supervision as a former commissioner?
I mean, the records are there. I was commissioner for art, culture, tourism, and Edo State. And, the responsibility of that ministry then was to, one, create awareness about our tourism sites, our arts, and all that. And, under the leadership of the Governor, Godwin Ogegase Obaseki, we were able to do a lot, within that 3 years. We did a lot of festivals, creating awareness, letting the world know how Edo State is richly blessed with a lot of cultural heritage that we are all proud of. And of course, our relationship with His Royal Majesty, Monoban Edo Kwakwalapolo, Obaeware II, no Gidigan, Oba Atokbe. We did a lot, raising awareness of our culture, which is the responsibility of that ministry at that time. And like Bishop said, I was thinking outside the box. That ministry used to be a moribund ministry in the state, in past governments. But even to today, it's still adjudged as one of the best ministries.
The reason why I asked that question is because most times we have representatives in government at the top of the affairs who end up leaving office having many projects tinted towards where they're coming from. And the whole people who are supposed to benefit from your office most times don't really get the benefits to an extent. That was why I asked that question.
I understand. I have responsibility of the office first, where you are occupying. Like I said it before, that before we vote for anybody, we have to make sure we have look at people's antecedents and make sure they have, they're responsible for responsible for the office they're occupying. As commissioner, my actual responsibility was for the state, not just my constituency. But there are some things, because when you go back home to vote, the people need, and you see what they are lacking. So it's your responsibility as well to make sure you attract development to that area, to that peculiar need in that area. It happened in your presidency. It happened with the governors and all that. Because, first of all, you come from a constituency before you are now, occupying any position, whether elective or appointment by appointment. So you must make sure you look at their needs, because you go back there all the time.
Okay. All right, thank you, Ero. Okay, now Bishop, you already have the question right. You must have brooded over it, and let's hear from you.
Like my friend just said, when the last meeting, I asked that question. Okay. When they passed the question to the ICT guy, he said the beavers does not use network, that they can function anywhere. We're so happy. But again, when you have such situation, is as a result of the inefficiency and recklessness of staff. INEC should ensure that they have people who are self-determined, people who are hardworking, people who are effective, people without lackadaisical attitude, people who are not negligent, people without nonchalant attitude, people who really want to work. Just as you are here right now, I saw you when you were busy to ensure that things are in order. So that when we are air here, we will not go off air. So by the time we go off air, people will say, even me, and say, what are they doing? They're not serious. Guys, you know? So if you are watching a station and they go also, don't mind, they're not serious. People will just say it. So if you bring the beavers to the field and you don't charge them, it's sure you're not serious.
The reason why I asked that question, we saw what played out when people were registering to get their PVC. You see, INEC staff tells you either there's no system working, or the machines are not up yet, or they need to do one or two things to make it work. That was why I asked that question.
That is the Nigerian factor. People are not serious with their work. So they should be subjected to serious supervision, strict supervision. There must be somebody who really want to work and deliver, that these people must submit to. Because, let me tell you something, there is the essence of leadership. You can imagine there's no leadership in Nigeria. People will just be doing whatever they like. So, if INEC must deliver, such staff must be subject to strict supervision, leadership. You just said yesterday that my particular network just went off. It happens. I asked my wife, I said, come, where it was a message sent to you? Say no. Say, it's because Nigeria. It's because it is Nigeria. Anything can go here. Because we don't put this on check. That's why you go to somewhere and say you want to do your national identity card. They say, go and buy for a first. It happens to me. In a same client, my commissioner. Do you see that? That you call, you want to register for your cards, your citizen cards. Then the people official that are being paid salaries, that be paying
primary
function to say, contribute money, let's go and buy fuel. There's no fuel. It's absurd. Even at times, when people say, okay, I have a generator very close to my, so let me bring it for you. It's absurd that even though you don't pay the money, they will not register you.
But I don't think that will happen to beavers. INEC has really claimed.
No, we are just saying. No, we are just saying.
Talking generally.
Yes. So because if they don't charge the beaver, there will be a problem.
I don't know, sir. I would have liked to get your reaction, Aaron.
On that?
Yes.
I think INEC, like again, if I keep talking like this, I'm defending INEC. But I think like the conversation we've had, and we've seen that they said they have backup. I'm glad I said it's not, doesn't use network. So in really remote areas, it's going to work. And in case one fails, they have backup, for all that. And let's just be positive that it will work.
Okay. Prospects now. What are the prospects for this 2023 election?
Well, I think we want change. Everybody is anticipating change, and I pray that the electoral process goes well.
Yeah.
And hope and pray that the best candidates, who has capacity and experience wins and rule us. And again, let's have the change that we clamor for. Let it come to us so that Nigeria will be a better place for all of us to live in. So I'm very positive, and the prospect is that we all come out and vote, and I don't want it to be postponed. I don't want us to have, postpone this anticipation. Because
your party has done a good job.
No, not just my party.
Okay.
Of course, my party, we are ready. My candidates are ready. We have competent candidate that is going to win the election, and from president to the senatorial to House of Rep and even the House of Assembly. I'm very confident that we'll win the election. But I don't want it to be postponed because the anticipation, the stress, the anxiety on Nigerians is just too much. So we're ready to go. Let it come. And, come March, May 29th, we'll all be celebrating.
Bishop Akalame, 10 days to the election. Like I said, Nigerians are actually eager, just waiting for the 25th of February 2023 to actually elect a new president. To elect senators. Some senators will return, some senators will be voted out, and National Assembly members, the House of Representatives, some will return, some will be voted out. That is the handiwork of any electoral exercise. When there's an election, it means some will return, some will be voted out. It gives beauty to democracy. Bishop Akalame, what are the prospects of the 2023 general election?
Nigeria cannot wait to see a president emerge that will be able to solve our problem for us. A president that will be able to solve all these myriad of problems facing us as a nation. And then I can tell you, we want to see an election where electorates will go to the field to vote without being induced or influenced with money. An election where people will vote their conscience. An election where people will vote if you don't win, they say you did not win. Stop wasting your money. Don't go to court. That is the kind of election we want to have, because in every battle there must be a winner, there must be a loser. So it's just a battle to congratulate the other person, bring your idea and work with the candidates. Is that what happened to me in 2020 after the election? I packaged my policy document. I sent it to the governor of Edo State, Governor Baseki. Even the last time I met with him, I said, "Did you see my policy document?" He said, "I saw it." I said, "Because I want you to succeed." Because that is what the kind of government we want to have. You cannot say because you lose an election, you are headed to court. Then the winner becomes your enemy, the perpetual enemy. We cannot progress like that. Because the government is not your personal property. You lose. Go home, go and strategize. That is the kind of country we are going to have 2020. And I can tell you, 2023, we are going to have a brand new Nigeria. A new Nigeria, where everyone will be treated equally. Where you sit at home, you pay for NEPA bill, you see like 24 hours. Where students will go to school, they spend 4 years, they will not spend 6 years. Where you drive on the road, you close your eye, you are still running, there's no potholes. Where you will be driving, you go to the hospital, even when you don't have money, doctors will attend to you. When you will go to the market, you want to buy something, the inflation has come down. So that is the kind of country we are going to have. That even those who have traveled to the country say, come on, no matter, be it so humble. Home is home. Let me go back home.
Okay, Ero, recently there's a court order that a particular security outfit in Southeast should be disbanded. That's talking about the Ebube-Agu. Don't you think it's going to trigger the unrest as we head towards the pool in 10 days' time? Don't you think disbanding this outfit might trigger the unrest currently faced by Nigerians in that region?
But there's so many unrest going on there now. If you see what we read and see on television, terrestrial,
unknown gunmen.
Exactly, it's terrible. You know, I have a lot of friends from that ISIS. I've, even been invited for, burials and other occasions, but I refuse to go because it's not just safe. You go with security men, it's even worse. So, well, again, like I said, leadership make decisions, and they discuss before they make decisions on on issues and all things that happen. So I'm very sure, if they decide to cancel, we would still face that challenge. We'll still have that arrest, and those things will still come up, and let the top security agencies decide on what is best for them in that side.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Bishop, will you react to that? Well, I just asked him the disbandment of Ebube-Agu in Southeast. Is it necessary at this time? Looking at the fact that we are just a few steps away to the election.
When I talk like this, say, come on, why are you talking like this? It's because of what has happened.
Yeah.
Some people in this country, some people feel that they have been marginalized. Some people feel that they have been pushed aside in the scheme of things. That is why you see that we have a lot of agitation everywhere. We know that for a very long time now, the East, that used to be one of the safest regions in Nigeria. You travel there, no issues.
To an extent.
To an extent. But today, to travel that area, the only place I go now, if I'm going to the East, is Anambra and Enugu. Anything outside Owerri, Imo, that way, I don't go there. You get what now? So because of what is happening there. But let me tell you something. You look at that security outfit that came aboard, you find out where was it? Why was it initiated? Because we have the like of Amoteku. So if that security is a security outfit, it has not been indicted as a terrorist group. So if you are going to disband that of the East, you should equally look at Amoteku and do something about it.
Southwest region.
Yes, because to us, we will say it has a political undertone that is politically motivated. You understand? So people feel that election has come and there's a candidate from that region. I hope they will not use those ones to their own advantage. That is thinking of average politicians. So when something happens like this, when the election is highly imminent, we said it's politically motivated. When I saw it in the news, I said, come on, this is not the time. It's not the time. If we must address insecurity in Nigeria, there are things you do. We have remote cause and immediate causes of anything at all, whether it's security. Put it on the table. What are the remote causes? What are the immediate causes of this security in the eastern region? Then as a good leader, you address them. Everybody will be happy again. You saw one day, that's why I will never forget Yaradua. When we're having issues of security, even with the Niger Delta, when he went there, everything just died down. You know, at times, even the professor there and the vice president, most times where the president travel abroad and he want to hold brief, if you look at it, things become very calm. Because do you know the beauty of leadership? It's engagement. Engagement, constant engagement. Say to the people, listen to them, understand their problems. Even though you cannot provide solution to the problem right now, tell them that you feel their pain. You are empathetic. Display some level of sympathy that I feel your pain. We are going to do something to solve them. People will be happy and they go back to normal world business. When you ignore, they say who are they? They are really pushing. They don't have anything to offer. Then you're only igniting what? The pains and the problems in that region. Now just come and say Guabo disbanded. You know, why can't you just call a meeting of stakeholder meeting in the East? What are your problems? Or what are they? No. These people feel marginalized. I tell you, I said, do you know why there's calm now in that place? They have a candidate. They are hopeful that the candidate will emerge. So that's why you see this security there is calm.
But to an extent, we've seen videos making round on the internet where some persons are actually from that same region actually showing their disapproval to this candidate.
Don't say that. Sorry, you can say that.
No,
but
there.
But let me tell you something. These are political.
Okay.
My goals
Yes.
I can put it, but I'm not supporting you.
I'm also your praise.
Praise. I say I'm not supporting you. I will say it. You understand? In the evening, I'm with you. I'm strategizing with you.
Yes.
Okay.
You understand? That is politics for you. And even my followers, there's a place I hold meeting with them. I say, please, this is who to vote for. That's why when one governor was talking that, I said, I will tell my people where to vote. He said, why is he talking like that? He knows what to do. It's not to call the leaders. It's the leaders. Yeah. The leader will take the thing to the other their followers. This is where to vote. But for House of Rep and Senate, this is where to vote. When it comes to president, this is where to put the ink. Matter settled. See, all this jabori, gathering post, campaign, it doesn't work anymore.
Okay.
He
he just mimicked a particular governor. He's of the 5G. And they just made a recent statement that they will shock Nigerians with their decision. And don't you think their decision will, in a way, affect their candidates in the poll?
Of course, it's a minus because election is about numbers.
Yeah.
You know, but again, as the party, the leadership of the party not moved beyond them. They have. And you saw him running from pillar to post last time, going to court to get injunction. If he was confident about what he was, about what he was doing, he shouldn't have gone to court. You know, but and again, I stopped watching or listening to his news anymore because it became a waste of time for me and for a lot of people. You know, going over things, things that are not necessary, in the political affair. And I'm going to assure you that after May, when their tenure finishes, it's going to go into political oblivion. That I can assure you. Do you understand? Because the party will get their 25% from that state.
You're 100% sure?
We will get 25% from Rivers. Politics is about numbers, and there are a lot of people that are not happy with him. But as the governor of the state now, they just still follow him and say, oh, yes, he's the governor, just because of the things that he would do to them. But you still have people that believe in party policies and strictly with the party.
Now, you still have the floor, but can we take away the power of incumbency from him?
It has happened before. He's a very popular governor. He's very influential. He has helped his people. He has done a lot of things. And you cannot rule that with him being with you is a plus. Do you understand?
Okay.
But again, in the next few months, he's going to be out of office. And he's going to be running from pillar to post. All the money that he's spending state money on personal projects and resources and all that is going to affect him. And if he's unlucky, the person that he's fighting now becomes the president. Trust me, he's going to run out of this country.
All right, Bishop, my senior colleague will take the baton from there. But Bishop, we've seen over time where this particular governor assists other presidential candidates with logistics. Do you think, in a way, he's just doing that to gain the attention of the party?
You see, the wicked I know. I hope you will not say I'm promoting him.
No, you are not.
It's not in my party.
Yes.
Because I'm a realist.
Okay.
Okay. I speak to issues. The Wike I know is very liberal man. Understand? As long as you step into River State and you have something to do there politically, and you go to him, we give you all the necessary support.
Irrespective of your political affiliation.
It's just like now, a friend of yours in the media, who
second.
knows, maybe you used to go to meetings, you get to know each other. He said, I'm coming to Edo. The first thing you do is say, okay, come on, go to any of the hotel. You go for it, say, please, please, you pay for the food, and you come in. Go for a cab man that will take him around. Just tell him that where everything is, so you have provided him with logistics. Just like now in my party, I have the state chairman of the party, it is here. We go to NEC meeting. We know ourselves. If I'm going to Lagos now, I will just say, Wale, I'm coming to Lagos, except I don't want to disturb him. He said, you're coming to Lagos. How long are you staying? I say, I'll stay 3 days. He said, no problem. Maybe after 2 or 3 days, he will come and say, I have an hotel for you. Logistics.
So that means, okay.
So, in the politics, as a governor, if you're a candidate, you are coming to that place and you show him, he must provide you logistics. Doesn't mean that it's in your party. He has said it over and over again. He said, I cannot leave my house. I am not living here. He said, but what is important is that if you don't recognize me and know my input and my effort into this party, I will ensure that you don't get my support. He's talking about integrity.
Bishop, can I observe you?
No, he still have the floor, Aaron.
I want to observe you. He's very too detailed. I didn't want to talk about.
You interject later, but let him just wrap up.
You have not been watching him of recent, as you said.
So maybe you have better version.
That's not correct.
Better version of
the man is talking about integrity. He said, you cannot say one thing now. He said, that's the kind of person I am. When he talk, I say, I see myself in him. You discuss something with somebody in the morning. Before 4 o'clock, he has already changed his mind. He said, how will he discuss something with you in the morning and before evening you've already changed your mind? That's not integrity. What is integrity? You harmonize your action with your words. That is the problem. They have an arrangement. I'm not in that party. I'm not holding.
All right, let's quickly take your reaction.
Thank you very much. If you see before the primaries, because I was one of the national delegates that went to Abuja to vote and all that, he said that whoever emerges as the winner of that process, he will support. He did a lot of work. He traveled around the country, paid a lot of delegates and all that. But he was disappointed when one of the candidates stepped down for the other one, and he lost. From that day till tomorrow, he's been on the other side. He's been complaining. And so, like you said, politics is not your personal thing. It's either you lose or you win. And if you are outsmarted, accept it and follow up. From that day, you said no. It must be you. Yes, the man has done a lot for the party. He's funded the party for time and all that. But since he lost that presidential primaries, he should have given up. So you now gather the other governors and start saying G5, negotiating, doing anti-party, meeting with other party candidates. It's not acceptable. But they ignored you just because they didn't want to run for the feathers. You still went on and on and on. And when the party now issued the red card for you, that they would suspend your candidate from governorship to the House of Reps, you ran to the court. You say you were powerful. Do you understand? Okay, we have other people who said, we are not going with you on this line you are towing. You're a governor, by May, your term will expire. In the next 3 months or even a few weeks' time, because he has the resources, he's very aggressive and arrogant. If he was a calm governor like Obaseki, that kind of nonsense will not happen. Do you understand? But you now said, you will demolish people's houses, you will kill people, you will do that. Everybody has to be careful. But trust me, by the time he leaves office, or even a few weeks to the office, he's not going to work again. Nobody will answer him. You need to learn how to lose. As politicians, especially Nigerians, when we contest or something, we put in all our efforts. Some people borrow money, sell out. And if you listen to the governor of those few months ago, he called a meeting and said, nobody should borrow money. Nobody should sell their property. Go and canvass. Government will give you the logistic support wherever we can. But don't go and say, because if you lose, don't go and come back to me and say you have borrowed out, you have sold your properties, you've done it for election. You're coming to serve. So the man should learn to be a good loser. He lost that primaries. From that date to date, you just caused problem for the party. And they've ignored you.
Thank you, Sir Yero. Thank you very much. I hope you've been enjoying our discussion, Nigeria Decides, our current affairs program, where we'll x-ray or dissect the challenges against the conduct of the election, and we've also looked at the prospects. My guests explicitly have been able to tell us the challenges and how we can surmount and overcome these challenges as we look forward to the 25th of February. So it is the last lap of the show, and we'll just allow our guests now to make their closing remarks. We'll still start with Osemi Guerrero again, because Bishop Akalame talked about his expectation earlier on. Now, the election will be conducted on the 25th. One man will emerge president-elect. What do you expect from that president-elect?
Well, I think, like I said, whoever emerges, we face a lot of challenges. We are expecting change, but it's not going to be automatic, because this government has really failed Nigerians. We have a borrow deficit of over 60 trillion, according to the books, and plus other security challenges, education. Nigeria is so detribalized and divided now, and the insecurity and all that. So we have a lot of challenges. Whoever emerges as our next president have a lot of tasks, in his hand to work on. But we hope and pray for the best, and we all support whoever wins. And I pray that whoever wins, there should be a handshake. Stop all this litigation, wasting money, distracting the government and all that, so that the man will focus on the job to lead us and bring us out of these problems that we're in.
Thank you very much. Bishop Akalame, your closing remarks.
Thank you. Like I said, this message to the electorate was you have your PVC, like I've always said, you are a custodial of power. Use it. Vote for the right candidate. And if eventually you emerge as the president of this country, even though you have ideas, you cannot succeed if you don't have the right people around you. Don't engage in what I call political compensation. You give minister to people who cannot perform, then you will fail. So you look for people who have what it takes to drive the economy with you. There we cannot say new Nigeria is sure.
Daniel Praise has been, both of us have actually anchored to this program. What's your closing remarks?
Well, Nigerians should know that politicians have come to terms that your PVC is very, very important to them. That's why they are running up and down and trying to get your attention. So ensure you guide it jealously and don't sell your vote.
On that note, to say thanks for being a part of today's edition of the program. Tomorrow, my colleagues will be here again to look at another issue. Daniel Praise, you'll be here tomorrow?
I will be here tomorrow morning with Favor Osaro.
With Favor Osaro, to look at another aspect of the program Nigeria Decides. But we must take this home. INEC has assured Nigerians that 25th of February 2023 is sacrosanct, that the election will hold. In other words, all Nigerians should not be swayed by negative reports or reports of calumny, fake news. The conduct of the election will be on the 25th of February. Your PVC, your vote will surely count. So, once again, I thank my guests.
Thank you very much.
Daniel Praise, thanks.
Of course, it's such an honor anchoring the program with you.
My name is Ego Sagmala. I do have a wonderful, wonderful week ahead. Bye-bye.